Critical Tumble, where a bunch of longtime friends and internet nerds transcend geography through the power of Discord to play Dungeons and Dragons. And critically fumble a lot. Previously, the Cupcake Coterie took a bit of a trip to Avernus. Partially because the former Scourge Azamar, who went first to Fallen Azamar and then straight on to Aranes, which is another thing that we have confirmation actually happened, sent Alisaie there, along with every other Scourge Azamar or guard in general she didn't like. Which is how, in the course of various bits of combat, dancing around jets of fire and otherwise having a really horrific time in Avernus in general. It's all been unpleasant. They did find out last session that Alisaie got dumped in the sticks again because of Jessamie's mucking around with the blood magic, but Remy has put a temporary stop to that in the form of deals with a couple of planetars that are the progenitors of some of the Azamar they've been helping, and in one case, the progenitor, however far back, of Jessamy. Which means they're going to have to take down Jessamy and Tansy the vampire, and they're going to have to take both of them alive. They're allowed to get full revenge on Jessamy in whatever way they see fit, which they're probably handing over to Remy because, as Cherie put it, the assumption is you're going to want to turn her into confetti. Tansy the vampire, however, is going to have to be handed over to one of the planetars who is very, very, very pissed off and apparently wants to set this bitch on fire. So we're probably okay with that. Everybody seemed to think this was a reasonably good compromise. They did rescue a few more Azamar youngsters. Clarity unlocked the 3 that they found in the tower, while Remy was very much attempting to basically get Alisaie to recognize herself at the very least. But given that they were at the top of Arkan's tower at that point, and they were expecting guards any minute, partially because whatever mass announcement and gather for orders for what might have been Tiamat's entire fucking army, which is outside the tower at this point, Cherie decided that your best bet was just to get out before somebody came in and interrupted the flailing. So they wound up in Governor Zet's private palace spa. No windows and a place to clean up. You'd think everybody would have calmed down and let Alisaie stop being really, really jumpy because all of a sudden she's someplace else now. But no, I mean, Barnabas tried. Barnabas sat down in body language, just, I am your friend, relax. Did a pretty good persuasion check on that one, too. Ava followed suit. Rylan and Clarity were being Rylan and Clarity, which is just usually standing back, watching, and not being flaily little weirdos. Remy was very keen on Alisaie looking at her own reflection so they could start going, look, see, this locket, you had it, this is us. We are a thing. He's trying to get that noticed first, but while Alisaie doesn't understand Common, but she has some grasp of the people's sign language, that's just a little too abstract for her to really grasp at this point. Hazel, on the other hand, decided that it would be a great idea to open doors, to head into the palace proper, and apparently find some help, although what kind of help she was asking for, I have no idea. But because the Hand of Fate is a bit of a bitch at times, the door that she opened was to a garden area outside. Now, this is a Protector Azamar that's an awful lot of sun god spirit in there. and there's the sun, and she hasn't seen it in a week, and she doesn't remember seeing it ever. So, given flaily weirdos in here, sun out there, of course she's going to go near. So she did. She went basically through Hazel. She was gentle about it, however, because she didn't really want to hurt anybody. It's just you are in the way. You are no longer in the way. Everybody was trying to figure. Well, a couple of people were trying to figure out what the fuck Hazel was doing opening doors in the first place. Um, Remy ran for outside, followed by Rylan. Ava was following, trying to think of how best to get Ziriel's attention. The first thing I will flag up is a proper view of outside that door. It's actually a little bit unfortunate. Apparently, the palace spa is not just for Governor Zet's use alone. Um, Basically, you are in a small-ish walled-off garden, very, very high wall, entirely overgrown with blackberry brambles and rose bushes. There's another steaming pool and another cold pool and more sort of lounge chairs, and there's in the sort of half dozen of those, there's three individuals: elderly halfling, a middle-aged human, and probably fairly young elf. Um, the halfling is male, the other two are female, and they are all stark bullock naked. And this bunch of ragged, filthy, banged up adventurers have just barged in. Of course, they were already sitting up a little bit because Winged Lady just went blowing through, but it. So, you see these three very naked people all kind of looking at you like.
So the only way Alisaie could have gone is up.
Yes.
Jeremy looks up and then back down.
Yeah, no, I mean, she's probably not in view at this point because it's just
No.
going to be
That
away
makes sense.
for the moment.
No.
Excuse me, from the Hoffling? Who the fuck are you?
Terribly sorry, we have to go chase down that woman who just flew up.
What?
Long story.
Excuse us.
We have to catch her wife.
He did a good job
I'm so
explaining
glad
that.
I am still tangled up in the corner right now.
That's succinct.
Remy turns back around.
Simple and
Rylan
simple.
took care of that.
Yeah, Shuri is going. Hold on a moment.
Remy stops.
I understand the urgency. However, first of all, you've left your cleric on the floor. Also, we're going to have to explain this to Governor Zet. And also, not too long from now, I'm going to have to go and pick up the scourge, Azamar. Barnabas is. I hesitate to say this with all that's happened here, but I will go with you and explain things to the governor.
Yes. Please
And
get that started
Right.
with helping the other Asimar while we will figure out a plan.
you know, given everything that we've been saying the last few days and words you've had with Ava, has it occurred to you it might not be you who has to do the rescuing?
Remy will look over to Ava.
Well, we had discussed asking help with this, so
You'll have an easier time reaching him now.
Yes, Ava might want to, now that she's seeing the more or less expectant looks from these ones, might want to explain that you don't really know how to get Zuriel's attention. You just kind of did once.
Thing is, I didn't really plan when I called him last time. It just happened, so I'm not really sure how to call for him. That makes sense.
Shuri, is there another garden that's not likely to be occupied
There's
in the
about
sunlight?
there's about a half dozen gardens on the property. However, I'm not entirely sure you should be walking around the palace like that. I'm going to be doing so, but that's only because if I'm going to be interrupting a formal court this morning, which I am, I'd best look the part. The reason I think we were dumped here is because, generally speaking, Governor Zet doesn't want people tracking mud, blood, and less identifiable fluids on his carpets. He doesn't believe in leaving too much mess for his cleaning staff.
Understandable.
After we clean up, where can we go that won't interrupt anybody else?
Well, that's an entirely different thing. You didn't mention that might not be interrupting anybody else, because there are a half a dozen gardens on the property, and people use them. I mean, do you want the kitchen garden, the herb garden, the rose garden, the orchard, or Marigold Mile?
Rose Garden sounds quiet.
You're,
Just gonna
you're,
edge towards the door and be like, "Can we close this and give these fine people some privacy?"
I had actually assumed that they'd shut the door behind them, but if you're
They
not,
didn't say, so
I
I
was
don't
under that
know.
assumption as well, actually.
Yeah.
Close,
well,
close.
when Clarity is doing that, it's like, I mean, we get entertainment this way, clearly from the halfling. It's like listening to a
close the door.
play.
Funny they should say that.
Oh, I don't know if Remy heard that. I don't know if she's doing another one. We're gonna deal with that later. But
No, you didn't hear that.
no, that was when they were talking about it's like listening to a play. Rylan was funny. You should mention that.
It's like under my breath, just like quietly.
Yeah, I mean, given Remy's passive perception, probably didn't actually hear that. Cherise, however, is better than any of the people that Rylan has been wandering around with lately, so Rylan gets very light upside the head.
Does not elaborate.
For the Rose Garden, you're going to want to go up 2 floors, turn right, left past what we call the Least Lounge, and it's 2 doors past the plush pink sitting room. Now, if you'll excuse us, we have Avernus-related nonsense to clean up, and I suppose if anybody's going to do the report from your point of view, it probably should be Barnabas. The Barnabas is just, yeah, maybe, but I mean, my track record's not that much better than these all, given what I said to Zariel. Fair point, but you're close enough for me to smack if I have to. Come on.
Can I insight check
Oh.
everyone else from the floor to see whether they comprehended the directions that they were just told? Because I got a general sense of, yeah, we're just nodding along, but we don't entirely understand what she just told us to go.
No, because I'm going to be rolling for for whether you remember all those after you've had your wash. I had kind of assumed that while Clarity was shutting the door, she might have also been picking Hazel up off the floor. Because Hazel's just been sitting in this heap.
Yeah, I just kind of angle. I gave up getting myself out. Glad for the assist.
I mean, to be fair, like I say, she was actually really gentle about it. She still doesn't want to hurt people.
Yeah,
It was
still
just
landed in tangle because I'm an awkward, not dexterous disaster.
yes.
Yeah.
Of course, now you've got washing yourselves and prestidigitation, and it never really got an answer to the question that they asked about why Hazel was opening doors in the first place. Said we can. She did say I'll explain later, but they're not chasing now, so now is later. Just saying.
Okay, so Hazel, what was your idea behind opening all those doors again?
Well, I was trying to open one door, and it was supposed to be the door to the rest of the complex to maybe get an individual or two in the less flaily category to come help because we're flaily. We only have a few non-flaily people. It's basically just looking for an assist. Unfortunately, pretty sure Istis is mad at me because of all the doors, it had to be that one.
Okay, Clarity is particularly intelligent. You had somebody who knew the cast. You understand.
I was there.
Where this, yeah, okay. Good.
Yeah. So why didn't you ask Cherie?
Cherie was wrangling the flail.
No, Cherie was not actually.
No.
Each and every one of you saw that Cherie was just. I'm standing back from this. I am not a part of this. Beyond telling you where you. I mean, Rylan had just asked where they were. You would have thought that. So, which door is to the rest of the palace would have been a good follow on question. Just saying. But no, she was not wrangling the flails. She was seeing what was happening in and around the flail. And
At least planning to. I just kind of gave up on thought after a few seconds there.
Michigan, who's kind of looking at the steaming water like, what is this? And doing the cat. Then kind of looks up at Hazel and goes, what?
Yeah, that was very much a Paylor take the wheel moment.
What? Out of character, I have no one there who can say that, but I don't think it was Paylor taking the wheel. It was
No.
whatever bad decision gremlin lives in her head.
Something like that.
At any rate,
Washing.
well, this is Alisaie we're talking about, so she's probably gonna
She's
just go to the highest point
she's
available.
not in hell, so we are doing better than we were
It-
15 minutes ago.
No, you didn't listen. With that freak out and the flying away, she's going to find the highest place available to situate herself and probably calm down,
Remy
That
looks at
does
the
sound
ring.
okay.
making any further approaches easier. But remember, highest point.
Yeah.
Highest.
Yes, I heard you. Remy looks at the ring.
I'm assuming that y'all are doing the grabbing a bath thing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is going to be great for all of you when Ziriel loses all goddamn patience and turns up in the middle of your bathing. Thankfully, the place has a very high ceiling.
Oh, Lord.
Yep.
I feel it's a bit of a fair turn.
I do not say this to my chosen and the devotees of my creator very often. It is colloquialism I tend not to like, but it does appear to be the only manner of speech to which you will listen at this point. You both need to, in the vernacular, shut the fuck up. You are demonstrating no faith in your friend whatsoever. The entire situation, as I have understood it from you people, is that she wished to devote herself somewhat more to Pelor and assisting your wife, your friend, my daughter, was going to be what I believe is termed a signing bonus. And then you two will not back off. This is about faith now. She, pointing at Ava, needs to have faith in me and my lord. You have to have faith in Pelor, in me, and most of all in her, which you have demonstrated none of thus far. I had been considering if she had managed to summon me speak privately about this. This is disrespectful in the extreme. Clean and calm yourselves. Escort her to Pelor's shrine. And when she speaks of the instructions I have given her, you will listen, or there will be consequences. Have faith in your friend, if nothing else. And then flash and gone. This, well, most of you were, again, all bollock-ass naked.
Just kind of stunned by that whole moment, processing, and just kind of looking to Ava and nod. Like, I don't even have words, because if I say them, I'm gonna foot in mouth.
Clarity, Rylan, you guys weren't in the center of this. You see, Hazel in particular going, I don't have any words because I will trip over them. Sorry is probably a good start. Just saying.
An apology might be good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna start there. Sorry about all of that.
I know you meant well. Did not expect that, but
I'm sorry, y'all managed to piss off the right hand of Pelor. Bravo, guys!
boy.
I didn't
Clarity is
think.
actually like this deep in the water.
I didn't think I ever have to play him that angry. Wow.
Yeah. And Hazel just defaulting now to Paylor said jump. I'm just gonna get into the air and stay there until I'm told otherwise.
And Remy.
Can I focus on scrubbing out demon bits?
Oh dear God, Remy. Yeah, I mean, eventually y'all get scrubbed up. There's actually off in a corner a prestidigimending box. Apparently, it comes from Egrif. You put your clothes in it, and it's kind of like a washing machine, plus dryer, plus mender. So yeah, when you put your various bits of grubby in there, they come out clean and mended. So yes,
Clarity's looking at it sideways.
yeah, there's some runes that make me an Arcana check.
Let's see. Uh, oh, gotta turn that off. Oh no!
I know.
Uh,
Only a
Jesus
15.
Christ, that Arcana bonus, though.
I mean, yes, but at the same time, this
Mm.
is. You don't understand how there are glyphs that do this because these are cantrips that are mostly verbal and maybe somatic. So why do these have runes? What is this? This is something you have not. This is Egref stuff that probably makes you yet more determined to save the world so you can audit courses at the academy.
How does it work though? She's kind of flunks away.
Well, let's hope you do a little bit better on this one. I would like each and every one of you to make me an intelligence check to see if you remember the directions to.
Oof.
Oh, I should do Ava's.
I think I got the app, so I tried. That should show. I got a 5.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, you
But
did.
I will remember and I will roll for you. It'll make life easier for you because I have access to your character sheet, and it'll keep you having to bounce around from screen to screen and oh, good grief.
Not many high scores.
No, I mean you get the approximate direction, but you have to open a terrible lot of doors. But I think part of the reason that you wind up taking a while on this is because Clarity is noticing the little gold plaques on various of the doors, which is you know, the fluffy pink reception room, the tiny green reception room, the Twilight Lounge, which is literally navy blue and navy blue everything and glitter on the walls that looks like stars. So, but you're looking into all these, and yeah, it's rooms decorated color themed.
This one's fluffy and pink.
Yeah, to be fair, it kind of looks like a cotton candy machine exploded. I don't know if that's Nyx or Rylan, but either way, somebody's had enough.
More me than the character at this point.
This, sorry, just out of character, I have to notice this whole palace is a rainbow of just color wise.
No, just that particular wing. Um, ask Shuri about it sometime. She will have some interesting history of the palace discussions about that one.
Yeah, that I only have time to ask when Paylor says I am allowed to get back down from here.
Fair enough, and in all fairness, Shuri has enough to do for the moment. So, yeah, eventually, after Clarity in particular has had her little poke around the rooms, and the door to the least lounge that they were talking about is actually locked, so that one's probably a bit more private than the various single color themed bits on that hallway leading out to eventually the Rose Garden. It's another smallish garden and roses everywhere. It's like a small version of Portland's test garden for roses. They are climbing up the walls. There's little bushes there. There's some of the glass roses that Rylan knows only actually grow in. You don't know how they made those particular ones grow on palace grounds in the Elven Wild, but you know that you've seen a couple of the high elf individuals in the Elven Wild when they came for diplomatic missions. Some of the ladies would actually wear garlands of little flower crowns of glass roses as ornamentation, and you weren't entirely sure if they grew, but now you know. They're not quite like the crystal ones at the Bone Orchard, though. These ones are a little less delicate and probably less sturdy. So you've got Rylan looking
I
at them like,
was not aware those grew. Hmm. I'm learning things in all of this.
but yeah, there's only one spot in the garden where there's a couple of small paths that you can sort of walk through single file without catching yourself on roses. It's a good thing Barnabas didn't come though, because he's a little wider and might have had some difficulties. And the only place really to sit is a kind of a couple of curved benches set up into kind of a circle with yet another rose bush right in the middle of it. Basically, they have put roses just about everywhere they possibly could and crammed in seating and paths as an afterthought. There are also roses in colors you didn't think existed.
Brief question. You said there are crystal roses in here as well?
No,
Glass roses.
just the glass ones. I said they're not like the crystal ones in the Bone Orchard.
Got it.
Those
Thank you.
the crystal roses in the Bone Orchard are apparently something very special. These are kind of like the cheap knockoff version, but apparently, according to Ryland, they're the thing in the Elven Wild.
Genuinely, I didn't know those naturally grew. I was under the impression they were made somehow.
Actually, some of you
Sure.
recall that Darvin actually has one of those glass roses from the Elven Wild. He picked it during the escape attempt. That's Ava, Remy, and Hazel, because you weren't there for the Elven Wild expedition.
It was not.
Just as well, I don't think you would have liked the Shadowfell very much either.
Darvin has one of those.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Well, does he now?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Must have gotten one when you guys were passing through.
Yeah,
One way to put it.
Michigan is currently snoofing around, sort of poking around the roses. Just looks like he's trying to pounce.
Oh no.
Scoop up the...
Snug?
What are you looking at?
Boing!
You're gonna follow what Michigan's watching.
Yeah, so if you put Michigan down, it really is the butt wiggle.
Because Omen Griffin. Yeah. Paler said jump, and Omen Griffin is Omen Griffin, so...
Yeah, but Omen Griffin is also a church griffin and really just wants to play, and winds up with a face full of rose thorn.
Oh no.
And
Owie! Owie!
cast. I'm just gonna cast a Cure Wounds.
Oh.
Snug.
And just gonna hold the gremlin
Snug.
bird cat thing.
So, okay, you are in the rather squished rose garden. Emphasis on rose, not emphasis on garden, you see.
Clarity's sniffing a few.
They all smell a little bit different. Some are more, great ounce perfume. Um, Very small ones actually smell like raspberries. The glass roses don't smell like much of anything. There's a bunch over there that, for some reason, smell like gingerbread.
Hazel. Hazel,
What?
they smell like gingerbread. Sniff this one.
Yeah, lean Snurf,
Gingerbread.
and also letting Michigan Snurf.
And just eats one.
Oh.
Really?
It keeps it in beak
It's
for
not
a second,
food.
and
You
then
don't know the difference.
just kind of lets the rather scrunched blossom fall. No delicious.
Or
Oh,
That
those aren't for
is
eating,
correct.
Michigan.
This is flower garden. I don't think any flower is entirely delicious. There's a different kind
I
of delicious.
mean, roses are an edible flower.
Smell delicious. Not delicious.
Noted.
Oh.
Just holding Michigan up at this point so Clarity can talk.
Well, Ava, I was going to suggest you could pray here, but Uriel already told us what we should do, so we need to find a door outside.
That is so not what Zuriel said.
Didn't he say to go to the
No, it's
shrine
not.
together?
No, he said escort you to the shrine. Apparently Hazel's whole thing was to you both were find someplace outside in the sun, and you never deviated from that. So I just assumed you were going to try and pray in a rose garden. So I
Yeah,
don't know.
That was the original idea. Yes.
I was following Ava at this point.
Why do I even?
Escort doesn't necessarily mean lead. But if Hazel was eventually going to rattle into remembering that, that's on
you. You're the fucking character.
Mm-hmm. She's like, yeah, okay. Ava, did we ever, bring you to the shrine or tell you where it was?
To be fair, yes, that's where you guys figured out that's where Rylan and Ava figured out that you guys were missing.
Right, yeah, that's Ryder and I went there when you guys went missing.
Then that just based on very direct orders from on high. That's where we're going.
Except, yeah, Remy has a point. Now you need to find a way out, which you didn't ask Cherie for.
Remy starts to go back the way we came and looks for somebody. A servant.
2 floors up, couple doors down.
No, that was the direction to the rose garden.
Yes, and then Ryland's mentally recounting that to work backwards.
Yeah, and then you just wind up back at the spa again, which didn't have. Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't have a door. That just goes with the garden. Oh,
Not
boy.
an outdoor anyway, not one that doesn't lead to a area that drops off the side of the whole place.
Well, that too, but it was also mostly the very, very tall wall.
There's a wall.
Laden with very, very sharp thorn containing bushes. Yeah, the hand of fate is persistently against you guys. Um, you're
Oh no.
wandering around the place a half hour before you find anybody, and when you do, it is the halfling that you interrupted, fully clothed this time,
Okay.
apparently about to start his day, looking at you guys like, really?
Could
At this
you
point, collectively, we
please
are very sorry.
could you please point us to an exit?
Adventurers, follow me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And sort of pads you through, not the main entrance. No, the not nothing you get anywhere near the great and the good. Um, basically, you coming out into wind up through the kitchen, which is probably fun for some of you more than others. It's a fairly narrow but long kind of room, so you're having to squeeze past people uh, apparently starting to prep for lunch, because you guys won't have noticed, but you will when you get outside. You're now into mid-late morning of the day you left, even though you spent like several days in Avernus. Does that be how it goes? But yeah, you're sort of ushered out. You can tell one of those doors leads to apparently the kitchen garden, but you're kind of out by servant's entrance and receiving goods. So out into empty boxes, plenty of space for carriage wheels and the uh, corresponding messes from various horses. But at least you keep going that way and you will find an actual road and an outside. And yeah, that's when you're looking at the sky and going, we've been gone like maybe an hour.
Crazy to think it's been so little time since we left.
Well, to be fair, you guys did know that because you knew Alisaie had been there for like a week before you
Yeah, we
got
knew
to
there was a
Avernus.
town foundation, but seeing it like
Mm.
Shrine.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and for the various of you who did not get to go there because um abduction, um the shrine to Palor is a little bit like the one in Egref in that it's made of glass, but not as much because it's more of a greenhouse. Yeah, various different rooms where you've got a shrine and various bits of things growing, so you can sort of pick what plants you want to pray around. Hazel did sunflowers the last time, if memory serves me, and Rylan was hanging around the berry bushes when Ava came to call. So where she goes from there to pray is up to her.
Well, this point it is on you, Ava, but where do you want to start? Because uh, there's a lot of different ways to pray to Palar. A lot of different orders.
Well, in this case, it's not so much that, it's more in a shrine like this, Hazel will know you might want to say your first devotional around plants you're comfortable around. things you like, perhaps, because just about everything growing in there is edible on some level.
So, there anything, any of these that you like more than the rest?
Well, you're not seeing all of them.
Sunflowers, berry bucket. Uh,
Honestly, there's so much in here.
The little
Name
halfling,
mm,
something.
the little halfling that Ryland and Ava woke up when they were yelling this technically last night. Uh, Powder's Up is actually properly wearing the robes now instead of it being thrown on over pajamas. You think he could have his pajamas on under there? You don't know, but ah, you found you found Hazel.
We did.
yes.
Can I be of any help? You all seem a little lost, which is interesting to see in a cleric of Palor in a temple to Palor.
A little bit. It's well, I'm trying to say this in a way that makes any iota of sense and doesn't sound completely insane.
Out of character. You are wise. This is Ava's thing. Why don't you let Ava talk?
Yeah, I was wanted to really say it's on her.
Yeah, just making sure and cutting through
Well,
it. Sorry, that came into it.
we need to get in touch with Zeriel.
We or you?
Me.
You seem a little bit dubious about that. Are you sure this is a thing that you want to do?
No, I do. It's more the how that I'm still working on.
Well, you're here. The Palor, Palor is the creator of Zeriel, so if that is what you wish to do, this is your first devotional to any of the higher celestial powers, yes?
Yes.
So, are there any particular fruits, vegetables, herbs that you like?
Mm, strawberries.
Oh yeah, we have some of those. There are only a few of them because they don't tend to require as much direct light as others, but still doable. Uh, if you'd like to come with me. And walks you into a bit of the greenhouse, which is all about the strawberry patch. There's some little alpine ones sort of hanging from little ceiling mounted baskets and just patches of various different types of strawberries grown around. Um, and off towards the far wall, there's a little shrine. Not as crowded as the rose garden in the palace, but it's the same. You know, you've got the little space for people and little paths for people to pick things, and that's it for space that isn't full of strawberry plant. The little halfling cleric is just feel free to take one of the strawberries as you speak your devotions or whatever you're praying for, because you're adventurers. It's always something. I'll go take care of the weirdos.
Thank you.
I mean, you clearly very much wanted the company of the weirdos, so I will keep them safe for you. Gives a little bow and pads off and looks around at you guys and goes, "So, you are taking friend to devotional."
I think she's a little nervous with her first time.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
honestly
well,
the only way to describe it, and I'm sorry.
yes, well, you may be weirdos, but you are her weirdos, so it is good that you support her in this. Does anybody want fruit?
Please.
Yes, please.
Does anybody have a specific type of fruit in mind? Or shall I just surprise you?
Looks directly at Hazel when they say surprise them.
That's something I'm always here for.
Blackberries, if you have them.
Of course, we want surprises and going through the thorn bushes. This is making my day wonderful. How about you two?
Mm, a surprise would be great.
Looks at Remy.
Yeah, why not? She clearly thinks the surprise is safer in a Temple of Palor than in a bar.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Rylan gets their blackberries. Hazel gets. She does actually recognize these. There are a few bushes out past the hot spring pool near home. These are gooseberries.
And just massive amount of grateful to Tiny Cleric.
Um, Clarity gets little magenta bumpy things that you apparently have to peel. Litchis. Remy gets. It's fuzzy. It's brownish and they're brownish and they're fuzzy.
Thank you.
Uh, you have blade. You cut into them and it's you eat the green inside part.
Okay. Thank you.
Don't eat the fuzz.
Somewhat wondering about that.
Well, you can eat the skins of some things. You don't eat the bumpy either. You clearly know how to eat those, says to Hazel, who probably has a face full of gooseberry at this point.
Yeah. I have silenced myself to avoid saying the stupid.
Fair enough. Okay, yes. So Ava, um, I'm assuming take strawberry, kneel at shrine, and then what? Out of character, just to flag up, when Remy has to do this shit, all she really does is speak Ziriel's name and mean it.
That's sort of where I was
Okay,
aiming to
cool.
start. Cereal.
And yeah, actually kind of having to be hovering really to not step on strawberries. Maybe this is not the best choice you could have made but you weren't to know. Child of the Cedars. I would apologize, but the only ones I really feel I would need to apologize for are for them. This is going to make what you have next to do somewhat difficult. Not that I don't understand their. Well, I understand how Hazel Hearthheart is, and I understand the pain and turmoil that my champion is currently feeling. But I believe she needs a reminder that for all the different forms it takes, she is not the only one who loves Alisaie. I think she forgets that a great deal. So, this has been of interest. Given your previous experience with a sister who turned out to be more about the blood than you thought and less about anything involving sisterly feeling, most would have thought you would never try that level of trust again. And yet you did.
I didn't think I would. I didn't think I would until I met these idiots.
Yes, well, the thing is that up until fairly recently, the love you have for them does not go unnoticed, but you are starting to work out some things, I believe. I believe you're starting to understand that all the training you had before you met these idiots was all about hunting a quarry. And you're not hunting a quarry anymore. You do understand that you're fighting a war. Which is something to be discussed once this trial, once this show of feeling, devotion, faith is something that we'll have to discuss. But the first thing that you want is Alisaie back again. With
Yes.
full. So, as I told my champion, and it would have worked if people weren't quite as flaily as they tend to be, she will come to you if you are in danger. She is a protector, and whether or not she remembers it or not, she protects you.
She saved Remy, so she's definitely still got those instincts.
Some while ago, that archfey took you all in for entertainment, for lack of a better term. Your Hazel was provided with the opportunity of a leap of faith. In her case, it was the archfey taunting her. If it was for real. Admittedly, I do understand this is not ideal given your feeling on heights. But they could not be with you. You have to understand this. They have their ways of assisting in that situation. And were they to even be able to interfere, that's not faith. You need to have faith in the divine forces and in her. That's the other thing about clerichood that not many know. It's not always to a god. It's belief in something, maybe someone. I've heard on some worlds, clerics are given that level of power by a friendship with an archfey. It's faith. And we need to show that we are worth that faith as much as you need to show you have it. As to the rest, once you are in the same place as her, and that's another reason why they can't be there. They try so hard, and they have missed a very important first step. When you meet someone that you don't know, and you want them to know you, to begin to know you, what is the first word you teach them? I'll make a wisdom check and see what you get for that.
Oh no.
No, that's a good one. That's
All's
a
good.
that was an at 20, not an at 1.
Oh, yay.
And really, you all should have got this. The first word you teach anybody you meet is your name. The one thing none
Ah,
of you did. And Ava, with that
this
roll, is
is
starting to tick it over. You're remembering when you met the kobolds and you got Porchy. Even the ones that didn't
mm-hmm.
speak Draconic could get that.
Mm,
You get on a footing. You want to get her to engage with you, start talking to you. So it's Ava,
mm.
Alisaie. So that's what hits you when Ziriel asks, "What's the first word you teach them?"
Name.
You will need her locket. All else of her can be tucked within until it's time. But once once you have taken that leap of faith, on the assumption that it goes as it should, and she comes to you, get her to understand her name, and then give her the locket back. We can take it from there. And after that, we can discuss how you feel about devotion, in this case, just to the sun itself, from the sounds of things, and the beings that represent it. We're kind of trying to avoid the specifics of the deity because only about half of you seem comfortable with that, which is fair enough, but we don't like to scare away those who the gods choose to make life better in ways we cannot. You are our hands, our words, our gestures. When you form that bond with the gods, you become a caretaker for the world. A little bit larger of a requirement of effort than running Cedar Grove would have been. Hopefully somewhat more fulfilling. But that is where you are charged. That's what you are charged with. You must get Alisaie's locket back from Remy. You must ensure they do not follow you, or interfere, or even look to be in a position to do so. And then find a place for a leap of faith. We will speak again. And we're at about break time, so we'll take a few minutes, and you'll have a think about how you're going to approach this, because this is that you know that's not going to go over well.
I have had some thoughts. I have had some thoughts.
Good. Okay, but we'll let everything solidify there, and we'll see you in a few minutes. And we're back at the Shrine of Palor in Anbir, with the rest of the party eating blackberries or various surprise fruits, and Ava coming out from her meet with Ziriel, possibly with strawberries, possibly not, I don't know, with some things to say. And yeah, she comes out looking like that, frankly.
So I know what I need to do.
Oh, that's good.
But I need to do it alone.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Also, don't forget you need the locket.
Um, yeah, I was just getting to that.
Cool.
And Remy, I'm gonna need to borrow your locket.
No, Alisaie's locket, not hers.
Alisaie's locket, sorry.
All right, here. I trust you.
Thank you. Put it away safely. Um, trying to think of Can I see any high places from where we are? Or
No,
probably not.
you're in a shrine to Palor. One of the best things you could probably do at this point, you're relatively clever, is figure out a place to meet up and maybe because it's still going to be a shaken up Alisaie at the end of this. Maybe try to think of A, where y'all should meet, and B, what kind of welcome she should receive when she returns.
So I think the best way to do this is we figure out a place to meet once I'm done. And figure out how we greet her, I suppose, if that's the way of putting it. We don't want to. I'm not sure how long it's going to take to restore all her memory. So we probably want to try and find a way that doesn't freak her out. Zuriel did say first thing would be start with our names.
Wow, Ava didn't understand half of what Zuriel said. Okay. I mean, you did, but not the subtext.
We can go back to the twins' home.
You have to do this
Yeah.
alone. That just whatever you need to do that you're doing now, um, do it. And we'll just, I guess, where have we gone before?
Out of character. Hazel, please recall, because you're the homemaker, you are the caretaker, you are the hearth home raised. Whether her memory is all the way back or spotty, whatever, she's going to be tired, she's going to be confused, and she's going to be hungry. Because she's been eating things that taste like cardboard for quite some time now.
Yeah, I'm just trying to recall where Alisaie preference was for anywhere that was just good.
Um, you know from her preferences, is very much a meat eater. Doesn't mind spicy. Uh, I'm gonna innovate this.
Because there was a location that did like literally that. It's just where the fuck I forgot.
Well, no, there's a lot of places that do places like that. But you could go to the grill because that's barbecue and that's cool.
You know what? That you do the thing, and we'll meet at the grill. This place literally called that.
You remember where you had the barbecue?
Okay.
Okay.
Would it be better to get it to go and have her in the bone orchard? I don't know if a restaurant is a good environment for someone who's just regained memories or
Out of character, if it turns out she's not up for it, you can go in, order it to go, and go back. But
that was
she might
kind of
not.
my
Yeah,
idea.
but talking about doing that first without knowing how she is first is kind of a thing. Plus, it's a little different going into a quasi-public building and into someone's home. She's not necessarily going to be expected to make small talk exactly with waiters. Also, remember they were preparing for a siege at the Bone Orchard because Jessamy and her people. So, which is worse, restaurant or potential war zone?
So let's just meet near there at least. At the grill, and we'll go from there.
And we'll figure it out from there.
Paylor said jump. I can't get down from here until I get told otherwise, so that's what we're doing.
Okay. So, and I'm assuming you guys are heading in the general direction of the Street of Nature's Bounty. How is Ava going to find her spot?
Mm. But did she ever get any look at any of the maps?
Not so much, but you know various bits about the layout. You know that up I mean, there's you're coastal, but it's only around about the northern end of the city that's got, that's at sea level. There's a gentle slope up to the rest of it there. Uh, the south end, more towards where the governor's palace is. I mean, his palace is built right on the cliff, which is pretty high. I mean, it's built right up against it, so you can see what's further north of that, or and it's entirely possible that Bahir Zet has a dragon-sized cave entrance, but you're probably not going to want to ask for that because that would probably be rude. Or depending on how you want to take it, hi, can I borrow your roof?
Well, we haven't been to the northern end much, have we?
Well, you've been to the governor's palace a few times, so enough, but you haven't been further north than that because the palace is pretty much at the edge of the city on that end. Everything else around there is more sort of residential.
I guess I'll make my way north and to look at the area and decide from there.
No, sorry, I think we've got confused. South is where it's at. South is the high spot out towards Alamaver. It's north that's more coastal sea level kind of thing.
Oh, right. Okay. My bad. Well, I guess I'll head south then.
Okay. Make me a survival check. Oh no, I'll roll it. I keep forgetting. Sorry, my fault. Okay, let's do the thing. Okay, guys. You see, it's not just my fucking dice. That was another nat 20.
Nose.
Guys,
Yes, your luck is disturbing. Like, if you were in any looter shooter, you would be getting every single ideal drop of everything first time, no notes.
I swear, it's only because the rest of what I have to go through is so sucky that it gives me immense luck in completely useless situations.
I want to borrow this luck for one run of Vault of Glass. I just want one weapon.
I'll send good thoughts next time you're going. We'll see what we can do. So yeah, no. Thinking about the whole sort of cliff side area, the whole problem with trying to find actual cliff that you can do this from is, frankly, public safety. When you get to that level of cliff height, they've built some pretty significant fence to keep people
Hmm.
from running around, falling, being stupid. Um, you do notice
Makes
that,
sense.
yeah, there's because frankly, Bahir Zet doesn't care that much about any of that and has probably borrowed some architects from his siblings' spot. There are a few higher up turrets on his relatively simple castle that sort of overhang, so you would get you'd get the height of the building plus the cliffs, and not have to worry so much about getting mashed on rocks partway down.
Mm.
Because, I mean, you remember Glorious Golden God? We splat, boink, boink, boink. Well, I mean, you wouldn't turn into a goldfish, partly because you can't. But, you know,
Nope.
still, you want this to be relatively clean to give it the best chance of working. So, yeah, it's probably going to be finding the replacement receptionist at the governor's manor palace whole thing, and go there's a there's sort of a roofish over on the eastern end of the palace. Could I borrow that? So yeah, I'm assuming to the
No.
palace, or you gonna try to think of something else?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, the
No, just go through the part.
yeah the receptionist has brought the the book back out because apparently she's fairly convinced that she's not going to see Remy today, but wasn't expecting to see you either. And so when you turn up, it's just, hi, how can I help?
Fine. Um, this is going to be a weird request. Could I borrow access to one of your roof areas, possibly?
I mean, that's the which particular roof area, so I know exactly how bad a request that is.
Um,
Eastern, the top of
eastern.
the top of the the southeasternmost turret.
The top of the southeasternmost turret.
Oh, okay. You want that's staff areas. I mean, and you want the roof of that turret?
Uh, yes.
Would asking why cause me an existential crisis of some kind?
um.
Look at your right leg, Christ. Nick, stop it.
I know I'm not here, but yes.
Hmm. Try to explain this.
I mean, it's a yes or no question.
Uh, Possibly.
Ah, okay. Um, uh, uh, do you, maybe instead of a roof, you just need somebody to talk to?
No, no.
Sorry. Trying for insight.
I know it looks
Trying
really
for
weird.
trying to insight. Got a 2.
I know this is a weird request. Believe me, I do. Um, I'm doing a. I need to do a leap of faith. Literally.
Um, you see, my problem with all this is that you. If my first problem with it is that you seem a very nice person. My other problem is that you have a lot of very nice friends with very nice weapons. And if I let anything happen to you, those very nice weapons would open a very nice hole in my head. Which I suppose would be kind of okay
They
because I
are.
would feel very, very bad about letting very, very bad things happen to you. I mean, I'm sure the seagulls would
Well.
appreciate it, but we don't care about them.
Well, they know I need to. They don't know the specific task, but they know I need to. They know I'm doing a task for Paylor and to help a friend. So they won't put any blame on you.
I'm not sure that makes me feel any better, but if you'd like to hang on a moment, I will call you an escort because you kind of need one just to get things unlocked. Um, yeah, Ava will probably
Uh,
figure, but you can tell them to go away after. But if everything is locked, you need someone with a key. So it picks up a specialized summoning stone and um, fairly large gold dragon board, but it walks up and uh, you want a faith leap roof, says the dragonborn.
yeah.
Most people just have incense. I don't know what it is with you people. And gestures as walks back into the main palace. There are a lot of stairs. A lot of stairs. They're kind of winded when you get to the top of them, and you wind up in a little sort of cluttered spot that somebody's clearly using as a bedroom, but there's also a trapdoor in the ceiling, which pulls the ladder down, pulls the trapdoor open, clambers up. And if you follow him, yeah, you're up on a fairly flat turret roof. It looks kind of like a rook in chess, but if you look if you look down, there's very sharp rocks and very energetic looking ocean a very long way down. And the Dragonborn is just kind of standing there like roof.
Thank you. Would you mind giving me a moment? I need some privacy.
You know, we have a naked sunbathing garden just off the spa.
Noted, but this is not about that.
You look a combination of determined and terrified, and this is an object of concern.
I'll be fine.
Is this a religious thing?
Kind of.
You could almost hear Ziriel just going, kind of.
I mean, yes, it is, but it's a bit more than that. There's layers to it.
It gives you a very dubious look as heads down the trapdoor ladder. Should have gone to Egref. Should have gone to Egref. Slam. Yeah, so you're alone. It is windy, by the way, when you get that high up and on that much cliff.
Mhm.
It's
Figured.
you're very high and it's very fucking windy. Welcome to Tumblr. We have memes.
A few deep breaths. I have faith in Alisaie. And I
Out of character,
turn
you're
around
relatively
into
smart. You're probably gonna want to take a running jump at this. Just saying.
okay. Okay. There's nothing.
And off you go, I take it? Yep. Well, first thing I'm going to
Yep.
do is
Oh boy.
roll you a Constitution save. Wait.
Oh boy.
That's a 3. Yeah,
Oh no.
well, see, the main reason I rolled that is because once you get to a certain velocity, fairly often you're gonna black out. People who do this kind of thing are often not particularly conscious of hitting the ground, which is probably a mercy, but anyway, point is that the tower goes past fairly quickly, and so does a bit of cliff, and it's kind of hard to breathe when the air is kind of being shoved in and ripped out of you pretty much at the same time, and you kind of black out midway. And because I'm terribly mean, I'm going to
Oh
focus
no.
on what you guys are doing for the moment. So yeah, Ava went and headed in a southward direction. Well, what are you guys gonna do?
Following the directive. We're going to where we were told we were agreed to go, and I am not moving from that location until told otherwise.
Okay.
I'm probably clinging to clarity with quite a bit of force, but you know, Michigan in one arm and just other arm lashed around Clarity's arm and just not letting go.
Rylan, you are probably the one who has this, and it might be a good time for it. You found the box. The box with the green wrapping paper and the sunbursts. That was clearly one of theirs.
Oh, really quickly. I think this is one of yours.
Yeah.
That's where that went! Yay! I thought I lost it!
It was lying in the street. I presume when you got napped. What napped? Not important phrasing. It was just on the ground. I figured it was one of yours.
Did
I
Barnabas get
No, I
his
did not look at whatever's in it.
presents for Cherie back?
They're probably in his haversack, so he can deal with them later.
Oh, I'll remind you later, but Barnabas also had some books and cooking supplies for Cherie. If they were nearby my box, that would be good. I'm sure that she would like those things at some point.
Noted.
Yeah, you didn't find them, so you assume he still has them somewhere. we actually, you might not have been at that session, but we did actually discuss it when we were in Avernus. It wasn't the time. Now you're out of
Mhm.
hell. It's probably the time, but
Mhm.
yeah. So now you have the mystery box.
So, Hazel, this is for you for whatever months or days anniversary it is currently.
Grab smooch.
Aw.
I
It's
don't know
Yeah,
what it is.
nonverbal, just macking on her at this point.
Wait, let me explain though. I don't know what it is, and I want to know what it is.
Okay,
But what do you mean you don't even know what
Park,
this
Michigan
is?
on my head.
So I went to this place, and they give you they give you boxes of a certain size and value, and then they say, "Oh, there's something in there of this value," and we swear on something that's that value, and then they give it to you, and then you don't know what it is, and then they don't know what it is, and then you give it to somebody who likes surprises, and
Is this not gambling?
no, but clarity, no, because the worth is guaranteed.
the worth is guaranteed, and if you go back there and you say, "I don't think this is worth it," I'm pretty sure they could like say, "This is how it walk you through it." It's not gambling.
Okay, then.
Yeah, it is in fact a moderately weighty box. Not heavy, but there's definitely something in it.
Clarity's kind of
Yeah,
bouncing.
I'm gonna.
Open it, open it, open it, open it.
Once we're sufficiently, once our asses are sufficiently parked
Yeah,
somewhere, I'm basically
there are
doing that.
benches. Yeah. When you open it, what you have is this kind of it's very nice wool kind of poncho kind of thing in mostly a deep green with little paler sunbursts and also what appears to be a couple of very well made jingly balls, which are apparently for Michigan. How the box knew that there was a Michigan to play with them, but Michigan is already peering in and just going.
There's like a 0.5 second moment of hypersonic. Pulling Clarity into another Hazel brand hug. Yay for somewhat squished tieflings.
Smooching
And
can commence.
and then loosening grip enough to just pull the bells out and start wobbling them directly in front of Michigan, who's hopefully still parked on my head.
Yeah, but you should put on the poncho.
Yeah, going to just kind of be trying to do several things at once. Probably not entirely successfully unless I get an assistance.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you to make me a deck save if you're trying to play with Michigan on your head and pull a poncho on over your head at the same time.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1. Wait, what?
Michigan is actually helping. It's just a pause and nudges the thing down. It's really soft. It's a cashmere kind of a thing, which you don't even have word for that. But the wool is so soft and so warm.
Yeah, this is just going to devolve into a hug pile in about 15 seconds, so...
To be fair, because of the hug, Clarity's kind of in it too. And yeah, this is definitely a 7 gold poncho.
Yeah, y'all just lost Hazel for the duration.
And how is Remy coping at this point?
Sitting patiently, More or less.
More or less.
More or
More or
less.
less. That's a word choice.
I'm assuming more or less than
Yep.
more, but yeah, you guys.
No, Remy doesn't really do patient.
Yeah, I give you. So, given you guys are engaged, it's mostly Rylan who's seeing Remy doing the. You can kind of see the. It looks to a point like patience, but it also looks like brooding, which is the only reason she's not pacing now.
They're going to be fine, Remy.
I know. Just, you know.
I get it somehow, but hey, this is. They're both gonna come back, and everything's gonna be fine. You just have to give it a little bit of time.
Thank you.
Of course.
And faith. Don't forget the faith. For her, that's the important part. So, yeah, a little bit of support and cheerful and generally happy. And given that she blacked out mid fall, Ava's probably not entirely sure what to expect when she wakes up, but she does wake
Mhm.
up to this the kind of these sort of pat on the face. And when she opens her eyes, there's Alisaie kind of doing the unreasonably attractive gargoyle hunch. And when her eyes are actually open, giving this gesture that needs no words to say, "What the fuck were you thinking?" It's just that
um,
it sort of settles back on her haunches with this sort of still wary but also challenging. It's like, you're not one of the flaily ones. What do you want? It's sort of it's been a very hard day for me.
Ava. Point. Alisaie.
No, somewhere in the back of your mind knows you're going too fast. One thing at a time.
Ah.
So it's sort of backing off and just because when you're moving directly to her name, it's kind of we're still trying to get the "that is your name" part. So it's sort of okay, okay, and then back to that. Poke. And because she does have the actor fate, even if she's not entirely aware that she's doing it, she actually speaks the first word she's spoken in days in a voice that sounds just like yours, Ava. And then just kind of sort of thinks about it, tries again. This time is it's trending into yours, but a bit more like she normally sounds. Ava. The look is still okay. We have a you word. What does this have to do with me? Kind of look.
Point. Alisaie.
That one takes a minute in a sort of a kind of a I have a word designate way. she makes a gesture that you've seen the people use for her. Takes another minute. Alisaie. This is kind of an okay, that's weird. Now what? Kind of a little less wary, but much more confused. Like, okay, face noises apply to me. What's going on now?
um, pull out the locket.
And then it's sort of, I recognize this. Sort of being.
Open it up.
When you open it.
Point to her.
No. No. Sorry.
Wait, I just open it and
You
see her.
no, you open it. No, that's not what I'm talking about. You don't really have a chance to do much of anything when you open it, and I will explain to you why. You're probably not a Doctor Who fan. Anyone who is might remember the bit where they were keeping the Doctor in the pocket watch. That is what is happening right about now. For not really entirely sure how long this takes, Ava is more or less acting as channel and filter for the sheer force of a miracle. This is. You've seen Hazel do this. You've never known how it feels. At this point, you are actually understanding what is in their souls, either because they were born with it in Alisaie's case, or whether they accepted it as theirs, like Darwin, Hazel, and Remy did in their own ways. This is the kind of thing on a smaller scale, hopefully, because this is kind of blowing your mind, that you will wind up wielding in the war you know you are fighting, because no, you're not just hunting a quarry anymore. It's not about Cedar Grove, it's about these people, the world, and for the first time, with that at your back, you're actually sure in that moment that you can do it. You drop the locket, because that's a lot to have in your head. And you're sort of huddled up in your corner of what appears to be another palace balcony. Alisaie is sort of curled up on the other corner, similarly kind of overwhelmed looking. So once you're coming back to yourself, you have no idea what the fuck just happened beyond. You channeled something the really only. Well, okay, a fair few people in your group actually know something about, but you never knew it was like that.
I pick up the locket so I don't lose it.
Looks up at you. Still kind of like headache. Okay, I'm not in hell anymore. Where's Ree?
She's fine.
Good, because the. What? Okay, I have questions because I wound up. Okay, no, but before I talk about any of this, sort of grabs hold of Ava, and you apparently really need this, so I can have some questions in a minute, but a hug first, because you really apparently need this hug, and I have missed so very much, apparently. More than I thought I did. The last few days have been are a little fuzzy. But
We'll fill you.
I got sent to Avernus, and when Ree didn't turn up after a few days, I was worried they still had her. That's when you realize, she didn't know about the time differential at all.
The time flows differently there. That's
I'm gonna have
it was
to.
only
It was only like an hour and a half or so for you guys. Out of
yeah, it was
character.
like an hour and a half, couple hours for us.
Right. Okay. I'm very grubby. My clothes are a mess. Also, ow. And I'm kind of curious as to why I'm not drowned. The last thing I remember with any kind of clarity, she's okay too, right? Everybody else is fine.
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
falling into a river because some assholes had some scourge asthma, and I think I helped them again later. But again, I'm.
Yeah,
It feels like there was a
you put
while
in the
where.
sticks.
Oh, that explains a lot. Um, I'm taking it that nobody handled that very well. Again, I ask, how is Ree? She doesn't take well to this shit.
She's alright.
Really?
She, I mean, she's eager to have you back, I expect, but
Oh, this is gonna be such a thing, isn't it? Okay, we're on a balcony, and I
yeah.
have this vague sense of what the fuck did you think you were doing that I can't really connect to anything. So I think all I want to know is whatever bullshit you had to pull to get whatever was wrong with me fixed. Is it something you're going to regret later? I need to know how
No,
bad I need to feel about this.
not at all.
And you're not just saying that because I would know. Okay. I think I'll leave it at that. Yeah, that explains a lot of things, like why I am incredibly grubby, incredibly hungry. Oh gods, I've been eating stuff that tastes like absolutely nothing because I've been stuck in Avernus. I remember now. I did do a lot more reading about the Six than I thought, but I had a few more other things on my mind. I'm
It's a bit.
taking it. I'm taking it that the bullshit had something to do with, at the very, very least, dealing with your fear of heights because you don't generally like being up this high. Out of character, that will have cured it completely.
Well, funnily enough, that seems to have kind of gotten rid of that.
Well, good, because in the state I'm currently in, I kind of don't want to have to go through the governor's manor.
Fair enough.
So, where is everybody else?
They're at the grill, waiting for us.
Ah, somebody decided I desperately was gonna need like food, and I am
You'd
not.
be hungry, yeah.
I am not presentable. Is there any place I can wash? You can actually see the nude sunbathing garden from here. Everyone seems to have gone in now,
Um,
so the spa is through there. And now that you're not having an issue with height, she can kind of just drop you both down there and then out. Now that you have the person with the wings back again.
yep. Yay!
So yeah, if you want to point that out to her and also return her locket, because she was more worried about the people
Yeah,
and the grubby.
yep.
Oh, oh, Ree found this and got like stressy about it, didn't she? How much am I going to hook her before she stops internally vibrating? I'm not going to be able to stop for like a week,
Mm,
am I?
probably not.
Ah, well, she probably earned it. Clicks around her neck. So, you were looking in that direction. There's baths in that direction?
Yeah, there's a sunbath right there. By the looks of it.
Cool. You seem to have been there, so you can show me the what. And I still have my bag. Cool. Okay. Yep. So yeah, bit of a wash. There's actually something that gets your hair dry very, very quickly, even if it is unreasonably long. Because Alisaie doesn't really want to dawdle because she doesn't want to leave Remy brooding longer than necessary. She knows her wife. So yeah, by the time this is finished, it's been at the very least a half an hour. The squee and squish pile is probably wound down, and you've probably taken about 5 minutes trying to disentangle Clarity and Michigan from the poncho pile.
The greater amorphous poncho.
I'm still in here.
Yeah, but yeah, you've been waiting a bit, but the lunch rush hasn't quite started yet when Alisaie would have considered for a minute and then just gone, no, on foot approach, I think, because if I get pounced, I'd rather it not be in the air. Besides, it's not really fair to
Fair
Ree.
enough.
It's not really fair to Ree if she has to try to pounce me when I'm a few feet up. The whole tall, small couple thing. Yeah, and you probably Remy and Rylan more to the point because Rylan's got the passive perception. Because kind of and looks up at
Quietly, just
looking up every time footsteps happen. And at one point, you sort of catch Rylan look up and stay looking because
and then I just
there's
quietly nudge Remy.
Remy
and
looks
yeah,
up.
Ava looking better, calmer, stronger, and a bit more resolute, I would think. And Alisaie, who's taken the time to clean up because this is Alisaie. She doesn't really like looking like a scruff when she doesn't have to. Hi guys.
Alisaie.
Yeah.
Okay, that's wasn't sure if you would, but you clearly recognize us.
Did I just randomly wave at people before?
Ju-
I
ju-
don't. If everything the last few days is fuzzy, but I feel like I didn't do that.
It's a long story, but you're looking much better now.
Well, yeah. Bath and things. And why does this feel way more awkward than I feel like it should?
You didn't have your memory for a little while.
Out of
Maybe
character. Out of character. Hazel, this is not what Alisaie means. It's like very clearly she got Ava hugs, and now Remy is standing there talking at her, and clearly
Remy,
she's
Remy,
a little
Remy, hug your
oh,
wife.
Remy
thank
will
you,
roll
Hazel.
her eyes and go up to hug Alisaie.
squish. Thank you. That's a little better.
Yes.
I mean, I like I say, the last few days were a little bit hazy, but apparently you guys were involved, and I was kind of afraid from your reaction that I pissed you off somehow.
No, no.
If I don't know, I didn't know
Remy,
anything, so there's nothing to hook to it.
Remy, you can remove the lid from your emotions now.
That's.
Still
I'm
hugging,
okay.
but yeah,
We're okay.
we maybe. Good to hear though, because I mean, tight rein is one thing, but Yeah, a little reassurance wouldn't go amiss because, like I say, very, very fuzzy. And but I have this weird feeling that it got very, very awkward. Not to mention the fact that for the first few days before I stopped moving for no reason and got dropped in a river, which I now know is the Styx, I you were still there when I went, and then it was like 2 days, and I didn't know that time was different, and I was
Yeah.
worried that something horrible had happened to you.
I know, but we're both okay now.
Yeah, more or less. I understand that we picked the grill because I was going to be starving. And we never did do lunch here. It is lunch, yes.
Yes, we
Yeah.
should have a real lunch, not hell rations.
Yeah, as far as I'm given to understand from Ava, you at least had rations that tasted like anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, may have to pack a little differently, if we're gonna end up there again. And honestly, frankly, we're probably gonna have a lot to talk about over the meal, but it feels like we might have to go back at some point.
Yes.
That
But I imagine that's part of the long story. But we can do that with the lunch, which is what I'm going to leave it at because I think that Marion's having some computer issues, so well, phone issues. So we'll end a little bit early. We can weave Barnabas back into it from there. And so hopefully in 2 weeks' time, we'll deal with a game plan to, now that we've got things most of the way back in some sort of, in some semblance of, oh, we have a Marion? Do we have a Marion?
So we have a Marion, we do not have an audio.
yeah, sound error.
Well,
Oh, it's Schrodinger's Marion.
That was amazing. Thank you.
Ah,
Sound check.
That
little.
Oh, we do have sound, just roboting.
Yeah.
There we go, unlagged.
Looks like it anyway, but
me.
just
Nope.
about. It's breaking up.
Okay, can
What I was gonna do, Marion, is we'll call the session for now. We can weave Barnabas back into it in 2 weeks' time, and it'll hopefully be better for you by that point. Because right now we're dealing with Remy actually being able to remove the lid from her emotions and actually hug her wife, and we'll deal with any of the rest of the soppy bullshit in 2 weeks, as well as planning what to do about Jessamy, Tansy, whoever comes first, frankly, and any of the other issues that might arise from the various problems that were identified in Hell. So I'll see you in 2 weeks.